Tonight, Whyalla's premier cabin company fed up with youths pelting their taxis with rocks. And a cool change sweeps over the mid-north, just in time for the return of the Peterborough Rodeo over the weekend.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with Madeline Kerr begins now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us for our first bulletin of 2023. First tonight, commuters in Whyalla are on edge with multiple reports of vandals throwing rocks at moving cars over the holiday season. Local taxi company Des's Cabs is calling on the community to help phase out the negligent act, with their drivers constantly targeted.
With their eyes firmly fixed on the road, drivers are never ready for the rocks that come hurtling through their windows. After a horror year of rock throwing in Whyalla, Des's Cabs say their taxis are still under attack.
So we've had about 30 instances still throughout the last 12 months, and again it escalated just before Christmas.
Multiple windows have been smashed around Civic and Norton Park. Occurring at night, drivers say they feel helpless as the culprits use the dark open spaces to flee before police arrive. With the problem continuing to worsen, the taxi service says enough is enough, as the projectiles threaten the lives of their drivers, passengers and other road users.
The last lot of damage that we had was 3 taxis over the same weekend, one of them being our wheelchair accessible vehicle, had the back window smashed.
Efforts to repair broken mirrors, dented doors and smashed windows are taking essential vehicles out of the company's fleet, increasing the strain on one of the region's only transportation options for vulnerable people.
The elderly, the disadvantaged who can't drive, they rely on our service, and it's scary for them if they're in the taxi when it happens.
The drivers believe the culprits could be teenagers, so they're urging parents and guardians to talk to their children about the dangers of throwing rocks at moving vehicles. Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
With the New South Wales state election just weeks away, Deputy Premier Tull has made his pitch to Broken Hill voters. The Nationals are keen to regain the seat of Barwon, but Mr Tull admits this election will be tough. Daniel Pizarro filed this exclusive report from the New South Wales Parliament in Sydney.
Facing his first election as Deputy Premier, Tull is in campaign mode, focusing on the far west.
A new police station that's being built in Broken Hill, a new police station that's going to be starting in Burke. You've got the Whyalla Road, we've got upgrades to the Broken Hill Emergency Department Hospital. But who delivers this? It's the Nationals in government.
Sitting down with 7 Spencer Golf News, Mr Tull admits his predecessor, John Barilaro, has tarnished his party's reputation.
I think we should stop talking about ourselves. The worst thing that the community want to see is politicians talking about themselves or former politicians. What the community want to see is a local champion. They want to see someone who's actually fighting for the things that matter to them.
The Nationals are aiming to regain the seat of Barwon from Roy Butler.
I believe Annette Turner is going to be the strongest possible representation that community can have. And that's when you look at Annette Turner, she's someone who is actually the former president of the CWA. So she knows how to fight for things that matter for people in regional and rural New South Wales.
The state government has a tough road ahead of them. According to the latest Roy Morgan poll, Labor is leading on the two-party preferred 52 to 48. Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
The blue swimmer crab is known for its sweet-tasting meat, and at the moment they're in abundance across Spencer Gulf waters. And Barunga West Council is promoting recreational fishing through a tech-savvy competition.
Can you catch the Yorke Peninsula's biggest blue swimmer crab? Whether you're a skilled crab wrangler or after some family fun, this competition is for you.
And the trick is that you have to come to the Barunga West area or the top of the Yorke and catch a crab.
The main crabbing techniques include netting and raking. Netting is the more popular technique as you don't even need to get your feet wet. And all you need is a drop net, bucket and bait.
Get into a canoe and go out there and put your crab nets down, or even go out fishing and off of Tickera or off of Port Broughton or Fisherman Bay in a boat.
The competition is simple. Once you've caught your crab, take a picture of it measured claw to claw on one of the York measuring podiums and upload it to Instagram, tagging the Top of the York Instagram page.
We've got some big entries already, so good luck everyone. The competition closes at the end of the crab season, which is around late April, so get on board everyone.
For further information about the competition, visit the Top of the York website. Happy crabbing, Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Thousands flocked to Peterborough over the weekend to watch or participate in the 2023 rodeo. The event was declared a massive success by organisers, made even better by a change in the weather.
With temperatures hitting 44 degrees on Saturday, there were concerns the Peterborough Rodeo would be postponed. But thanks to a cool change in the weather, temperatures plummeted and the long-awaited rodeo went ahead.
Pretty good. Yeah. Loving it. Good show. Pretty good.
The turnout was huge, with the volunteer organisers delighted with the outcome.
We are so proud, and we're also thankful for all our sponsors, including All Gen Solutions, our major one, and also all the other ones in town. Without them, this event wouldn't happen.
The rodeo queen, Broken Hills Grace Norley, is on her campaign to become the rodeo queen of Australia.
Well, I actually don't have my barrel racing horse with me. I took my thoroughbred that I trained. He didn't do too good out there, but I was happy with his run, so I've come for fun and just to represent myself.
There were several injuries during the bull riding as the cowboys tried to hold on the longest.
Sore left shoulder, but should be right. Yeah, good. It's good to have it back on after a few years.
People of all ages, from seasoned riders to those starting out, participated in 16 events, not to mention tug of war during the break. Visitors also marvelled at the Ute Muster, with dozens of jacked-up rides proudly on display, while others tried their hand at whip cracking, with various success.
Match you, bro. I'll match you. I'll take next. Finally, Jaden! Cheers!
Daniel Pizarro, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Still to come tonight, our reporter Joshua Mercer heads to Menindee to survey the flood-affected Far West and meet the Spencer Golf local moving to the Big Smoke after changing countless lives in the regions. Welcome back. The people of Menindee spent the holiday season battling floods, with roads closed around the town. A number of organisations are currently helping those affected by the influx of water, with the Premier and Minister for Emergency making a trip to the Far West.
Christmas is usually a time to sit back and relax, but with the Darling River rising, locals in Menindee weren't able to put their feet up. It wasn't until last week that water levels remained stable.
At the moment, the river level here at Menindee is 10.25. It's still forecasted that we may see up to 10.5 metres. However, that will be reviewed in the next couple of days.
Despite water being at most residents' doorsteps, locals are staying positive, comforted by the knowledge that emergency services are always on standby.
Yeah, at the moment things are going quite well. We've got a number of SES and RFS volunteers in Menindee at the present moment, along with additional police helping out with the flood emergency.
The New South Wales Premier, Dominic Perrottet, along with the Minister for Emergency Services and Resilience, Steph Cook, made a trip out to the Far West to speak with volunteers and locals about the situation.
It was great to see that they took the time and effort to come out to Menindee and have a look around and meet with the volunteers, with our SES and RFS, and just to get a first-hand experience of what's actually happening.
Even with all the water around, some parts of the Far West are still good for camping.
Lake Palmeroo and Kopi Hollow and even parts of Menindee Lake are still accessible for camping and fishing and things like that for that water activity. So we still welcome visitors to Menindee.
Check out the Central Darling Shire website for the very latest flooding information. Joshua Mercer, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Regional Development Australia, York and Mid-North is saying farewell to a dedicated team member of 12 years. Kellyanne shares her insights on what it's like to work in the regions and what's in store for her future.
For more than a decade, Kellyanne has seen the York and Mid-North region flourish.
Fantastic time for 12 years in region, living in Clare, but obviously looking after the whole of York and Mid-North. It's just such a privilege to work in the communities, to lead economic development.
Kellyanne says the regions have matured in terms of business and gained immense confidence in the past decade. Over that time, she's worked on some major projects, including bringing internet access to those who had previously gone without.
Delivered infrastructure for internet access for over 1,000 properties in the region, and particularly that was earlier in my tenure before NBN was rolled out. So we set that up as a 3-year return on investment and actually was in place for 7 years.
Working regionally is not something Kellyanne had planned on doing, but has thoroughly enjoyed, saying she has been given the opportunity to actually make a difference.
I reflect on the team, and the best way to describe that, Annabelle, is to look at the team that I have, which is just fantastic, and their passion for their regional communities. And they come from a whole heap of different backgrounds.
Kellyanne's new role is at Regional Development Australia Adelaide, where she will continue to work with some familiar faces. Annabelle Francis, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Stay with us after the break. The Whyalla Tourism Centre calling on local artists to help stock their shelves. And rescuers save the day as a 6-tonne camper gets bogged near Port Pirie. Welcome back. Whyalla's Tourism Centre is calling on local artists and creatives to help stack their shelves. The centre wants to sell locally crafted items all year round, so tourists can take an authentic piece of Whyalla back home with them.
Selling Whyalla to the world. The Whyalla City Council is opening a retail space where locals can display and sell their craft.
We're really lucky to have a lot of creative people in Whyalla. We want to hear from them. We'd love them to contact us at the visitor centre to tell us what type of things they make.
From paintings to woodwork, the council is giving locals a chance to show off their products along a high foot traffic area.
A lot of opportunities here for our local artists. We want as much local product as possible to put on sale at both visitor centres, but particularly down here at the foreshore.
The council says the location of the visitor centre captures a steady wave of tourists that come to experience the city's iconic jetty, foreshore and Hummock Hill lookout.
We are a great point for visitors. They do come to the jetty first up when they get to town.
We've had hundreds and hundreds since the doors have been open that have come up the coast, many of them caravanners, and of course they come down to the foreshore first before they look out for the visitor centre out on the highway.
If you think your product aligns with the Whyalla brand, you can apply for the retail space through the council website, while those looking to buy are encouraged to pop into the centre and have a look.
Our friendly staff here are waiting to chat with you. We're really lucky to have this really fantastic spot.
Edward McCarroll, 7 Spencer Golf News.
As the weather heats back up this week, Whyalla locals will be happy to hear that the city's rec centre pools have been reopened to the public. Over the past 3 weeks, maintenance staff have repaired sections of tiled floor and the sandy beach ramp entrance to the children's leisure pool. These immediate works were undertaken to address potential risks to the public's safety, with the larger repairs to get underway later this year. And a happy ending for these campers at Woods Point, south of Port Pirie. After becoming stuck in the sand and posting a call for help on social media, a few Good Samaritans showed up to help pull the 6-tonne camper van out of a sticky situation. Luckily, it was all over and done with during the daylight hours, and the rescuers surely saved the owners a lot of money and headaches. Stay with us after the break. Local cricket returns following the Christmas break. And Alex Sykes joins me to bring you the local weather forecast for the first time this year. Welcome back. Not only has our bulletin returned, but local cricket is also back. Teams are looking to pick up where they left off before Christmas as they march towards the grand final. Joshua Mercer has this week's cricket wrap.
West Broken Hill remain undefeated in the Barrier District Cricket League, beating Central under lights in a T20 game at Alma Oval on Saturday night. There were fears that the game may not have gone ahead, with the earlier matchup abandoned due to rain and lightning. But by 6:30, the Storm had passed over, ready for the second game to take place. West were first out to bat, and it was a bit of a shaky start for the men in red and black, as Central picked up some wickets early, with Rory Skinner, Jared Paul and Adam Rhodes picking up 2 each. West's Matt Hamburg proved to be the calming influence, taking charge and scoring runs. Hamburg topped the run count with 33 not out, and the Robins setting a total of 72. It looked like it may have been a run total that Central could chase down, but it wasn't to be, getting bowled out for a total of 44. West bowler Colby Stenhouse was the pick of the bowlers, taking 3 wickets. Casey Ferguson, Matt Hamburg and Lachlan Harvey also dangerous with the ball, as they picked up 2 wickets each. In the other game, South Broken Hill had set a total of 6 for 79 runs in their game against North, the Bulldogs only making 13 runs before the game was called off due to the worsening weather conditions. Round 10 of A-grade cricket was also meant to return in Port Pirie over the weekend. Unfortunately though, both games were abandoned, and cricket in Port Lincoln resumes this coming weekend. That's all in this week's Cricket Wrap. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for our Sports Wrap.
Joshua Mercer reporting there. Time now to take a look at what's happening in the weather with Alex Sykes for the first time in 2023. Alex, firstly, I hope you had a lovely break, and secondly, it's been an absolute scorcher in parts of the Spencer Gulf.
It was absolutely sweltering, Maddie. A low-intensity heat wave is current for the Flinders and Mid-North districts as we prepare for more days above 40 degrees. Speaking of, it was a hot one in Port Augusta on Saturday, recording 44.3 degrees. No, thank you. Looking at some of today's standout temperatures now, just 26 degrees in Port Lincoln this afternoon. Broken Hill reached 38 degrees, while Woodner cracked the 40s at 10 minutes to 4. Looking more broadly at today's weather map now, Cooper Pedy was another town in our map that reached 40 degrees today, 38 in Port Augusta, 37 in Port Pirie, 33 in Kadina, Whyalla topped 31. Taking a look at the satellite image now, a high pressure system is bringing a hot airstream across South Australia. A milder air mass will develop following a front that will move across the state tomorrow, followed by another high pressure system. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and we'll start with the Gulf waters. East to northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots, shifting south to southwesterly 15 to 20 knots in the middle of the day. Seas between 1 and 1.5 metres, and south to southwesterly swell around a metre. A shower or two in Port Lincoln tomorrow, set to get to 29 degrees, down to 19 tonight. A fair bit warmer in Cleve and Woodner, 36 degrees with a shower or two developing. Partly cloudy, top of 41 in Whyalla. It won't be any cooler than 24 degrees there. An uncomfortable 43 degrees on the way for Port Augusta, with a minimum of 27 degrees. Possible late showers in Kadina, 39 degrees. 22 is the lowest temp there. Port Pirie partly cloudy, set to reach a high of 41 degrees tomorrow, as low as 26 degrees tonight. 38 degrees in Clare, 41 degrees in Broken Hill, mostly sunny conditions with some light winds around. Taking a look further through the week now, starting with Wednesday's weather, and it's looking significantly cooler in places like the Flinders Ranges and the Mid-North, with temperatures in Port Augusta set to drop back into the 20s. Possible showers and 24 in Whyalla, 26 in Port Pirie and Woodner, 33 in Broken Hill. Cloudy conditions around Port Lincoln, just 22 degrees. Turning to Thursday's forecast now, windy conditions around Port Augusta, heading for a top of 26 degrees. Windy in Whyalla as well, 24 degrees there, and a sunny top of 28 in Port Pirie on Thursday, sunny in Broken Hill as well, 27 degrees, partly cloudy and 26 in Woodna, 21 in Port Lincoln. Moving on to Friday's outlook now, and most of the windy and rainy weather has disappeared. 34 is the warmest it will get. That's in Cooper Pedy. Blue skies around Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Broken Hill all heading for a top temp of 29, 1 degree warmer in Woodna, 30 degrees, 26 in Whyalla and Adelaide, 23 in Port Lincoln, partly cloudy conditions. And that's all the weather from me for tonight. I'll have a weather update a little later. And can I just say, Maddie, it's great to be back. See you soon.
Thanks for that, Alex. And that's the local news this Monday, January 16. I'm Madeline Kerr. From all of us here, thanks for joining us for our first bulletin back after the break. I'll have updates a little later, but until then, enjoy your evening. Good night.